Hey everyone, welcome in to another daily editorial here on the KE Report. I'm having Chen Lin back on, and we're going to be focusing on silver because Chen has made a call that next month in June, silver will be touching $50 an ounce. You can follow along with Chen over at his website, chenpicks.com, and his newsletter, What is Chen Buying? What is Chen Selling? Chen, it sounds like you're buying silver right now. If you think it's going to $50 just next month, take us through the roadmap of what you think is driving an even stronger move in silver, which currently is a little over $30 an ounce. What's going to drive it back to that almost magical for silver investors $50 number?
Personally, I think $50 is only a milestone. Okay, so it's the first step that people are looking forward to, but I think will eventually silver will be over 50. Okay, but it will hit 50 as I put in my today's newsletter. I think probably will go through 50 a little bit this time. So just hit the all-time high. It's on CNBC, and then we'll have a pullback and consolidate. Maybe need a few months and consolidate and eventually go new high again. So that's my take. Okay, if you compare all these silver rallies in history, so silver, I have a target of $100 in the coming years, right? I think it's not out of reach. Maybe some people even quote more than that. Let me tell you why I think happening in June. Okay, I see it happening in June. Am I 100% sure? No, I'm not 100% sure, but I think we have very good chance it will happen in June. I give you just a few reasons. Okay, and I earlier this year I did a call to buy copper, right? It was a pretty timely call, and then we just had a copper short squeeze about 4 weeks ago. I'm heavily into copper, right? I always put money where my mouth is, so I was buying copper's future. I own a lot of copper future. So on that day, that morning, when I woke up, the copper's near-term future is $1,000 per ton more than the FAR, which is the end of the year. I have both. Unfortunately, I have 50-50. I wish I have more near-term. On that day, I sold, all my near-term and then put it to the long-term future. Why not? I'm taking $1,000 a ton profit. So that was the copper squeeze. 2 weeks later, there's aluminum squeeze. That was just a week or two ago. You can Google that. You can see that the trader hitting aluminum again. So it seemed to me every 2 or 3 weeks, there's a group of traders just pushing to one of the heaviest shorted metal and then hit them hard and force all the shorts to cover. It's a little bit like the Reddit. I don't know you remember that meme stock started the Reddit. It just hit it. Well, they hit it like 10, 20 times. Eventually, they cannot, right? People get up. But at the beginning, there was many rounds of short squeeze. And then I see it next round could be silver. Let me explain why silver. Multiple reasons. If you look at the COT report, the CFTC have some excellent report free of charge. You can go there to see the silver, the short position for the commercials, which they were trying to squeeze in both copper and aluminum at the all-time high. And then silver is breaking out. So all these commercials are sitting on heavy loss, right? So we just need a little bit push. Maybe they cannot stand the pain anymore. So that's a track short squeeze. That's first. Second, on the other side of the planet, in China, there is, which I watch very closely. Right now, the situation is very similar to what we have in 2009. Okay, they have cash flow clunker. I don't know if you remember, in 2009, if you have an old car, as long as you can put a door and the car together, you push it to the dealer, government will buy it, pay $5,000 for it. That's for cash flow clunker. Right now, it's happening in China. Okay, at that time, we have QE. Right now, it's happening in China. So their Chinese people traditionally have very high saving rate. So all the money is a negative interest rate, and there's capital control, and then you cannot freely exchange, and they're stuck there collecting negative interest rate. So they start buying commodities. I reported they were buying gold in September of last year 4 months later, gold broke out, right? And then in January of this year, they start buying copper due to the copper demand in AI, actually. It's not due to the China housing market, which is terrible. And they bought copper, and we have copper squeeze a few months later. And I was fortunate, I saw they're coming, I saw the trend coming. So I got on the train in March. So I was right just in time. So now they're buying silver. The silver stock in China, silver stock is about 20 million on something like that. I just came out the number. You can go to Shanghai Future Exchange to check. It's like 10-year low, okay? And then it's dropping dramatically this year. It seems like China going to run out of silver if this continues in the next couple of months. Okay, so it's very near. I think June would be a perfect month to squeeze silver. So there's a multiple reasons. And also, I want to say that from Chinese perspective, Chinese investors, they seems to have a much better information than the Western investor. For example, for the copper trade, while everybody was focused on Chinese housing market, which was collapsing, I was too. But they saw that because they have the order book, right? They saw the AI demand for the transformers. That actually changed the picture, going up a few 1,000%. So that's why they're buying copper, because that actually is much, much more than the destruction of demand from the China's housing market. So same thing on silver. China has a photovoltaic institute, have an excellent report. They've been on the money for many years. Well, our institute, called Silver Institute, has behind the curve every year. I have been very critical to them. Even I have a heated discussion a couple of weeks ago when they released this year's report. I think their report is wrong. They only forecast 20% increase in solar demand, PV demand in silver, where there's concrete data from China shows their estimate is 56%. It's very different. So basically, we're looking at 300 million deficit versus Silver Institute's 200 million deficit. But still, it's a very big deficit, okay? But my take is much stronger. Third, there is a new trend developing in AI. That is, they're using solar power to power the data center, right? The AI leader is called Microsoft. They just announced $10 billion in AI, in the solar power. They call renewable energy, but the renewable only two, wind and solar. Solar is much faster than wind, right? Solar, so they need the power now. United States is running out of power. If you read the news, Texas, you already see the power price spike 100-fold, right? Multiple times. Well, it's not even summer. It's not funny, okay? It's election year. We have a rolling blackout coming. But anyway, search for the AI power demand. It's going phenomenal. If you look at the First Solar, the stock hitting all-time high, people are rushing for the solar power to power the AI center. Microsoft is only beginning. How about Google? How about Amazon? Right? How about the Tesla and then all the other companies? So that can dramatically increase the demand for solar power in the coming year. I mentioned I see potential 500 million ounce deficit. It's not here yet, but you can pay attention to other companies, to Google, to Amazon, to the others. If they all jump into solar, right now, I think more than 500 million in deficit. Imagine we only produce, with all the recycle, about 1 billion ounce per year. So that's phenomenal, and it's coming. I think when people see that, actually silver probably go to 100, but we'll take 550. We'll take 50 next month. That's my call.
I'm sure you will take 50 next month. Let's dive into some of these points. The AI point, we've covered a lot. That has been in the news, not just for silver, but also for copper as a reason why copper made that run above $5 a pound. But when you look at the COT report, so these commitment of trader reports, what do you focus on? Is it overall open interest just to show the interest in the sector? Is it where the commercials are? Because right now they are drastically short. The non-commercials, they are on the long side. Is it the spread between the two? How do you go about analyzing the COT reports and the changes that happen week over week?
Well, excellent question. So I look at week to week, okay? The key is looking at the commercial. Commercial tend to be the slow money, right? So it's sometimes you call them stupid money because they just do that every year. They're doing that. They think they can make money. If you talk to my good friend Quentin, he said, oh, they always do some trick for them because they have a silver mine, right? St. Christopher, when they sell silver at a certain time, they always short ahead of them. They try to make a few pennies on those spreads. So that's fine. They're doing that for years. But if suddenly the shorts come, force them to deliver, right? A lot of times they lose dollars. They lose their shirt and they have to get out because margin call. So I look at the commercials as how high the short interests are as a potential. Okay, no guarantee for short squeeze. But right now, actually, silver is a little bit different than copper market because I saw the copper short squeeze. You have to have a strong backwardation for the short squeeze. Right now, silver is still in contango, so it's a little bit hard. But still, you can squeeze on the delivery, right? And we just want delivery, for example, for July. Let's see if you have enough silver to deliver. Because a lot of the commercials really are hedging process, right? Hedging is for next year or something. They have their hedge book and spread around, and then if you want to deliver, you have to pay through the nose. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the silver, they have the cover.
So, Chen, let's also tie this into broadly Western demand. I understand that you are bullish just in terms of what's happening in China and China's continued demand for precious metals and resources broadly. But in terms of Western demand, we have seen at least some volume pick up in some of the silver stock ETFs. But what else are you looking for to gauge Western demand?
Yeah, I right now I don't see Western maybe a little bit people wake up. Some people who are in the industry start waking up. Majority still haven't. And they still don't know what's really going on. And the people are worried about the Fed rate not cutting interest rate fast enough. What if this, Fed, that? My good friend Eric Kaufman actually had a very good talk, I think about a month ago. He said we are in completely different commodity market because the commodity demand, the purchase all coming from the other side of the planet. So it has nothing to do with the Fed. Even though we are looking at the Fed, but actually looking at the wrong picture because they are looking at their local currency and then their Fed. Are they doing QE or they have negative interest rate? It's just completely different. So that's why it's not just China now. It's spread around outside China. Vietnam also have a very strong run because Vietnam also have housing market issue, also have their currency weaken. A few things there force people not all in gold and silver. No, just put a little bit diversifications into the precious metals. So that's just like that. And the saving rate is very high in Asia. You just put 5-10%. We have a huge run. We're running out of silver right now in China as we're speaking.
So, Chen, with this call, $50 by next month, how are you playing it? Are you buying silver stocks? Are you buying ETFs? Are you buying leveraged ETFs? What's your play for this silver move?
I'm in the future markets, but I'm cautious. Future is very dangerous, so you have to know what you're doing. I have silver future. I also have a silver course on the silver ETF, right? That expiring end of next month. And I have a lot of silver stocks because I've been bullish on silver for quite some time. So I have very large collection of silver stocks that they are doing very well. Especially a producer. I think it's right now chasing is very hard to chase those because some already double. I think the opportunity is in June because juniors are just getting over the brutal bear market, and they're just still hard to raise money. Believe it or not, they're not. And then a lot of times when you raise money, nothing to do fundamental, the stock got killed. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunities. That give you one example. One of my favorite silver stock, Guanajuato Silver, they did a raise at 20 cents, right? I was all in. I did participate the raise with 30 cents warrant. The stock trading at 18.5 cents. Stock was almost 30 cents. When they announced the financing, that's a few weeks ago. I think I had a breakfast with James Anderson that time. I think we were talking, the stock was literally trading at 18.5 cents. Now it's trading at 31, I think, before I came on the show. So you can see that just those create a huge opportunity. So you keep your eyes open. And there's quite a few other juniors are very excited. Sarah DePasco, they just get the fifth easement in Peru history signed by the president that showed the Peruvian government and people were determined to put the mine into production. And this is one of the largest silver resource in the world on the planet. So I'm very excited about that. I'm going to talk to the management soon. And there's a few others. And also I'm going to have a silver webinar on June the 6th. So welcome to come to our discussion with my good friend Tavi Costa, David Morgan, and Peter Krause. Yeah, there should be a good discussion. And we also have invited a few of our favorite company to be on the show as well.
I'll post a link to that upcoming. It's a virtual metals investor forum where you're focusing on copper and silver, as you said, June 6th. So I'll post a link for people to register for that. Going back into the stocks, you mentioned the juniors with Guanajuato Silver. That's a producing company that with these higher silver prices, it seems like should be making money now. So that's a big turnaround for the company. Cerro de Pasco, that's a, let's call it much more advanced asset. When you say juniors, then I'm getting the understanding here that you're not really going down into the true exploration plays. You are staying with some of the more advanced assets, and it sounds like even some of the mining companies, silver-focused mining companies.
Yeah, there are exploration plays. Okay, first I'm going to tell you, in the past decade, because of the bear market, most of the silver producing company wipe out. Most went bankrupt. So there's not a lot of producer left. So that's why I like this more. You look at the almost pure silver producer, it's probably only one in the world. That's Guanajuato Silver. If you look at advanced project, there's a few others that may come to my show on June 6th. I'm sending an invitation to. There's a few good projects out there. And then go out of the realm that there are other silver juniors. Usually they're very bad shape because of bear market. Okay, the stock is down so much. Used to be, if you have a reserve or resource, almost worth $1. They calculate how many dollar per ounce or half a dollar. Not even a penny. They say. So there's a lot of very cheap one. I do encourage people to research and look out. And I think the key is the quality of the asset. The key is the management. So those are I'm also looking. Okay, there will be a lot of interesting opportunities coming.
What about jurisdiction-wise? Both the companies that you mentioned are in, well, South America, or Guanajuato Silver is in Mexico. What about North American silver plays? Any interest to you?
Yeah, they are. They are North America, but usually they are much bigger. I have a Heckler, I have a Core. They all perform so well. I don't even, they are double. I talked here, people think I'm just, pushing some ideas, but I think they will still appreciate. Silver to 50, they will appreciate. But they already perform so well for me. There are some juniors actually went bankrupt. There are other producers. There are some coming online. I know I have to watch them to study to make sure this is not another one to go bankrupt.
Okay, so you need to just watch out for the bankrupt ones. You are right. These companies, a lot of these silver-focused miners were producing at a loss there for a while, and they were getting punished for it. But now that they're turning the corner, if they're not bankrupt and if they have money, which is a nuance there, that interests you. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. They can be mining profitably. They have enough capital, yeah, to get to profitability. And also very important, what I found is the management. I learned a very hard lesson in the past downturn because some management, they just don't care. They just come in, just dilute or reverse split and dilute and reverse split. So that's actually bring a very bad name to the junior. Okay, there's a lot of people hate junior space. And when I talk about junior, I remember end of last year, there people call me and say, Chen, why do you want to invest in junior anymore? It's because there's some bad apple out there. And seriously, I have to be very careful watching that. So that's why I'm very careful, very picky on juniors.
So, Chen, everybody says management, right? And rightfully, you do want a strong team running a company, but it's hard to decipher who is a good management team outside of the simple fact of any recent company sales or major victories. What do you look for in management bios that stands out to you that says this is a quality management team?
Well, the first management had to own a significant amount of share of the company. And then they have to own it through not just grant share, they have to hopefully buy it, even at not rock bottom price, it's a decent price, not like a giveaway price. And then the management who has a track record of delivery. So those are putting together because there's just there are a lot of failures. I can tell you the long list of failures out there. I don't want to. It's so long. I don't want to mention.
Yeah, hey, Chen, we all know. We've all been in those stocks. We've seen how many failures there have been. Let's take this one step further. Silver, this short squeeze that you see coming next month in June. It's been actually an exciting part of the commodities markets where we have seen potentially these short squeezes push these metals prices higher. That brings in more investors. It's something that's happened in the past too that has brought in more investors and made commodities more on people's radar. Where do you see the next short squeeze coming outside of silver past next month?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have it, but I know some opaque, some rare metals. They're talking about short squeeze. I can hear some trader chattering. Mostly those short squeeze coming from China, so I can feel some of the chatter, but it's not very. I know there's a big movement in alimony. That's a metal, but that's not many good play. I've been watching all these, but a lot of those are really small metal, so it's very hard to play. We'll see. We'll watch. I think there's a lot of interesting ideas. I don't have any right now, other than I hope will be silver on my radar. But there's other metals that definitely have opportunity. Some it may even squeeze may not be fundamentally correct, but they may still continue. I feel eventually, okay, I think it will be like the Reddit. It will squeeze. It seems like they're invincible, and then they fail. That's the end. But you don't want to be too far into the inning. But I think we are at the first and second inning, so we have a long way to go.
Hey, meme stocks, they have come back on some people's radars with the short squeezes that happened. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. But as you said, or still early on, we do need to remember we are 3 months into this rally for a lot of these different metals, especially precious metals and even copper. Copper just started to break out. So yeah, hopefully this is still early stages for these metals. And then I know a lot of people watching it trickle down into the stocks, which a number of these stocks have started doing better as well. Chen, thank you very much for your time. I'll post a link to your website, that is chenpicks.com, as well as that link for the upcoming Virtual Metals Investors Forum on June 6th. Chen, thank you for your time. I'll chat with you next month.
Thank you, Corey.